Good evening. Let us be very still together. Words are auxiliaries. Words sometimes are an interference. Presence heals. Yet for a little while we will use a few words to prime the pump, and then we will let the water flow of itself. Do you see? The hook is simple and it is everything. I am isn't a slogan, it is God appearing as you. Before Abraham was, I am, and I and the Father are one. That is not ego. That is identity. That is not personal boasting. That is the disappearance of personality in the face of presence. When you hear I am in the Master's voice, hear God naming himself as the life within the life, as the light within the lamp, as the vine expressing in the branches, be still and know that I am God. Not that you will make God be, but that God is here as now. Do you follow that? I will help you. I will not help you by argument. I will help you by showing a way you can practice and prove. By your life experience, by the fruitage. We are not building a vocabulary. We are entering a doorway. By their fruits ye shall know them. If harmony appears quietly, naturally, unforced, and the inner recognition is sound, if it does not, we return to the door and wait until it opens. We do not kick the hinges with talk. 2 words form the frame of this whole work, A's and I's. Mystery held in structure, structure opening mystery, God appearing as individual being, is the eternal fact already present. Keep it as simple as that for now. Not 2 gods, not a God here and a man there, not a truth to be manufactured later. AS says identity, AS says immediacy. Together they spell the one door. Our aim is practical. What did Jesus mean by I am today? In a tax office, in a hospital corridor, in a kitchen at 2 a.m. How do we meet fear with 2 words? Not by defying fear personally, but by discovering no person in whom fear can lodge and no time in which fear prevails. The Master's "it is I, be not afraid" is not a cheer, it is revelation. When the I, that is God, is recognized, fear has no object, no law, no continuity. We enter this door by practice and presence. Practice is the gentle turning of attention. Presence is the grace that meets us. In a moment of pressure, say little, perhaps nothing. Let the inner ear open to I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved. Enter. Stand still. Feel. After Is. Allow AS to identify you. Then wait. If a word is needed, it will be given you in that same hour. This is our standard. Results confirm realization, not enthusiasm, not argument, fruitage, harmony established, peace where there was turmoil, supply where there was fear of lack, quiet love where there was resentment. We begin here with 2 words. 1, door, and the willingness to be still until the door swings of itself. I will help you. Do you see? Let us take the name as it is given, not as we would like it to be. When Moses stood before the bush that burned and was not consumed, the voice did not say, I will be what I shall become. It said, I am that I am, being, not becoming, presence, not promise. The divine identifies itself in the eternal now, unconditioned, uncaused, self-existent. This is not a label we pin on God. It is God naming himself as pure isness. I am hath sent me unto you. Do you see the commission is rooted in what already is? There is no future God coming to the rescue. There is the one that is here as When the Master later says, before Abraham was, I am, he is not offering a metaphysical puzzle. He is revealing identity. He is not saying a human being outdates a patriarch. He is opening the secret. The same I am that spoke to Moses is the life that speaks as Jesus. I and the Father are one, not two lives paired, not a man raised to divinity, but divinity expressed as the individual. This is the meaning of Son as he used it. Son is the visible appearing of the invisible. Do you follow that? It is not a bridge to span a gap. It is the simple recognition that there is no gap. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Again, not personality worship, not the glorification of a form. The form is the witness. God the invisible appears as Son, the visible, as individual being. The light in the lamp is not two lights. The light and its shining are one. We are not pointing to flesh and saying, behold God. We are looking through flesh and recognizing the presence that lives it. The eyes may see a man. The heart knows the I that is God. At Jordan, the voice declares, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear it as isness, not as appraisal, not I will be pleased if, or I was pleased when I am well pleased. The Father's pleasure is the fact of being, the benediction already resting upon the appearing. This word is the robe and the ring given the prodigal. Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Ever with all that I have. Now, do you see the ground we are standing on? Let us be exact. Ego speaks of itself and seeks enlargement. I am is God speaking as himself. Ego grasps for titles. I am bestows identity. Ego separates and compares. I am includes and is one. We are not making a human into God. We are beholding God as the truth of the human. When you hear the Master's I am, hear the Father naming his own presence where a man seems to be, then the work ceases to be assertion and becomes recognition. Be still. Let the inner assent be simple. I am is here. The Son is the appearing of the I. If this is true, it will show itself quietly, naturally, by your life experience, by the fruitage. Do you follow that? Now let us be very simple and very exact. AS means God is manifest as individual being, not with, not to, but as. The invisible I appears as the Son, as the you and the me that seem to stand here. Therefore there is no outside God to find, no absent deity to import, no later blessing to win. In him we live and move and have our being. Do you see? We are not vessels awaiting a filling. We are the appearing of the fullness. The vine does not send sap to a foreign branch. I am the vine, ye are the branches. The life and its expression are one life. This is an identity shift, and it is not poetry. It is the end of the searcher and the beginning of the scene. We have been trained to think, I, a person, will reach God, but the gospel turns the language. I live, yet not I, Christ liveth my life. God revealing himself as the one you call I. If that is so, the strain to become yields to the grace to be, not a better human, but God as identity recognized. Do you follow that? How then to see? Look back of the eye. Unsee both human good and human evil. The flattering picture and the frightening one are equally the arm of flesh. We do not deny appearances. We refuse them authority. We look through them to what is. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Not because flesh is deity, but because the Father is the life of this seeing. So when you meet anyone, silently acknowledge, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased as this appearing. Not will be, not was, once, am well pleased. Let that sentence be your inner bow. This is also the healing posture. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. The telephone rings, accident, illness, fear of lack. Do not sermonize. Do not offer a metaphysical candy to a nauseated heart. I will help you. Then be still. Resist not evil. Drop the picture. Let AS do its beholding in you. Presently you may feel a settling, a soft dawning. God is the only life here as this one. God is the only law here as this scene. You say nothing unless a word is given you in that hour. Do not antagonize suffering with slogan or pride. I resent it very much when someone voices at me, there are no accidents in divine mind while I am bleeding. It is unkind. It is unnecessary. Truth does not need your noise. It needs your consent. Consent within to the fact of AS. Stand by in consciousness until the hush bears witness. Lo, I am with you alway. The with becomes as, and fear has no perch. Practice this wherever you go. At the breakfast table, in the market queue, reading headlines, look back of the eye and behold Christ's identity. Refuse the personal picture, good or bad, and let the Father name his Son where a face seems to be. If this is true, harmony will appear of itself by your life experience, by the fruitage, quietly, naturally, without fanfare. Do you see? Now let us take up is. Not a future, not a hope, not a becoming. Is. Harmony is. Life is. Love is. Abundance is. Omnipresence is. I am the Lord. I change not. Do you see? This is not an arrangement we negotiate. It is the fact we discover. When you enter IS, the breath comes back to the body without your meddling. The heart finds its rhythm without your whip. You are not adding God to a scene. You are consenting to God as the scene. You are never trying to make 2 times 2 become 4. You are realizing it is 4. All the prayer in the world cannot improve upon 4. It can only correct the misseeing that called it 3 or 5. So in healing, you do not try to make life appear. You realize life is. You do not recruit love. You rest in love is. You do not manufacture supply. You acknowledge abundance is. The kingdom of God is within you. Not buried treasure to dig up with strain, but present wealth discerned as you release the clutching thought. This is why the Master can say, take no thought for your life, not because neglect is holy, but because thought cannot add a cubit to what is. He stands in the boat and says to the wind and the waves, peace, be still. The words were for the disciples. The hush was already the nature of the sea in God. Our work is to let that hush announce itself in us. Drop it. Resist not evil. Do not scuffle with the picture. Give up the eager beaver of metaphysics that is forever fixing, adjusting, affirming. Sit down inside and be still until is declares itself. Let the inner refrain be simple. I am. not a person chanting himself into strength, God naming himself as the life here. Lo, I am with you always. The with becomes is. The far becomes here. In that recognition, the fever of fixing cools. The snake in the rope shows itself to be rope. The threatening white poodle vanishes with a blink. You did not conquer anything. You cease crediting a dream with law, substance, or person. How do we prove it? By your life experience, by the fruitage. A bill arrives with urgency. You do not race to engineer outcomes. You sit, you let IS be. Abundance is. Presently, an opening appears, a forgotten credit surfaces, a right action is known. A body complains. You are kind to the one calling, but inwardly you do not take sides with pain or with courage. You take no side. Life is often, as you rest in isness, the symptom loosens its grip and function returns softly without your heroics. A relationship knots. You do not argue illumined phrases you consent to love is, and by some untraceable grace, the edges soften, and the word is given in that hour. If this is true, it will show quietly, naturally, without fanfare. Not because you said is, but because you rested in it until it announced itself. Then appearances reform as they must, drawn into the harmony that already is. This is our discipline and our safety, to live in IS until IS lives us. Do you follow that? Now that IS has been felt, let us look directly at what shouts against it and see its nature. Error is not a person, not a law, not a substance. It is hypnotism, merely a universal suggestion that there are two powers. The Hebrews called it the arm of flesh, seeming might with no life in it. Do you see? When you accept the second power, you create the stage on which fear can perform. When you behold one presence, one power, fear has no script, no actor, no audience. Depersonalize it at once. Neither blame a patient nor fear a condition. If you make a sinner out of the one who calls, or a monster out of the picture, you will have something to wrestle. Drop it. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. If they say, I am terrified, they found a shadow. Say outwardly as little as possible, I will help you, and within refuse the bait. There is no person in danger. There is no law enforcing danger. There is no substance to make danger. There is only mesmerism, a dream claiming presence. Resist not evil. Be still. Fear always borrows its costume from the senses. A coil in twilight becomes a snake in the rope. A smudge on the lens becomes a non-existent white poodle darting out of sight. Parallel lines on the street appear as converging streetcar tracks in the distance. Do you follow that? The eyes report. Belief interprets. Fear confirms the verdict. But when the light changes, the angle shifts, the eyes clear, no wrestling was needed. There never was a snake. There never was a poodle. The tracks never met. The correction was not muscular, it was seeing. Where does fear try to roost? In bills that shout do, in diagnoses that stamp names, in the ache of relationship loss, in headlines that parade calamity. Each comes with a badge that reads, I am authority, but it is not law. There is one lawgiver. Perfect love casteth out fear. The fear is the belief that something other than I am governs this hour. Bring that to silence, not by argument, but by recognition. God the invisible appears as the individual. A is. Harmony is. I is. Here is your method. When fear arises, do not argue with it and do not decorate it with holy phrases. Turn within and acknowledge AS. Father, you are the life, the law, the substance here, as this one, as this scene. Then rest in is. It is. God is. Peace is. Be still and know that I am God. Wait. Do not time it. Do not peek at the picture. Let the inner hush do its own announcing. Often you will notice the voice of fear thinning, like wind running out of corridor. Sometimes a breath returns to natural rhythm. Sometimes a thought of right action is given in that hour. You did not conquer. The dream lost its storyteller. This is your checkpoint. Do you see? When you impersonalize error, its claim to presence dissolves. Then fruitage appears, quietly, naturally. A bill meets itself. A report is revised or its sting removed. A house once tense finds soft speech. A headline becomes a call to behold one presence rather than a reason to panic. If this is true, it will show by your life experience, by the fruitage, not fanfare, not bravado, harmony. Stand there. Keep to the one, power. When fear seeks a face, give it none. When it demands a law, deny it law. When it argues substance, answer with silence. I am is the only presence. Be not afraid. It is I. Now we train the ear. First the letter, then the spirit. At the beginning you must prime the pump. Use a few simple truths. Gently, as one would turn a key. To open a door, never to batter it down. God, appearing as individual being, is what already is. Let the statements be clear, spare, and true. Not speeches, acknowledgments. Do you see? Place them through your day as you would place lamps along a path upon waking. Father, I consent, you are the life, here is me. Harmony is before meals. One substance is feeding itself as this provision. Abundance is Atmani. Supply is God being itself as this need met. I rest. When headlines shout, one presence governs. There are not two powers. Peace is. Say little, mean it, then go about your business without peeking to see if the seed has sprouted. Take no thought. Your work in this stage is not to create outcomes, but to keep your attention anchored in the few words that are the door. In crisis, keep your voice short and your heart long. Outwardly, I will help you. No chatter, no metaphysical fireworks. Inwardly turn at once. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. As Father, you are the life of this one. The only law here is yours. The only substance here is spirit. Then is, it is, God is, peace is. Be still and know that I am God. Wait, drop it. If a word is needed, it will be given you in that hour. Often no word is needed. The presence does, its own announcing. As you are faithful with the letter, it ripens of itself into spirit. The habit of declaring yields to the grace of receiving. You notice a shift. You sit, and the inner movement begins without your prompting. I live, yet not I. Christ liveth my life. Now your major activity is receptivity. You do not push truth. Truth declares itself. You do not send light. Light dawns. You become the listening. Do you follow that? Practice listening simply. Sit, breathe, inwardly say little. Let the mind unclench. If thoughts parade, do not fight. Let them pass across a sky that does not move. Offer, perhaps, one doorway phrase, "Here I am, Father," and then wait. Presently there may be a soft settling, a warmth in the center, a scripture rising unbidden with living tone, or only a quiet certainty without words. That is the impartation. Do not overwork. When the hush arrives, stop. The Spirit will perform its own office. The kingdom of God is within you. Make this your rule. End with peace. If peace has come, the activity is complete, even if the picture has not yet reported the change. If peace has not come, do not strain. Return to the letter for a moment, AS, IS, and rest again until Spirit takes the helm. This is not a lazy man's work. It is simple, but it asks fidelity. Day by day, minute by minute, you train the ear. And if this is true, it will show by your life experience, by the fruitage. Fewer words, readier help, quicker hush, natural harmonies. Then you will know the door is not a concept you carry. The door carries you. Do you see? Now let us be plain about validation. Words do not certify realization. Excitement does not certify realization. By their fruits ye shall know them. By your life experience, by the fruitage. Do you see? If this thing we are saying is truth, it will show itself in harmony that appears quietly, naturally, without your trumpets. What are the markers? Problems tend to resolve quickly and without spectacle. Fear may still knock, but it does not set up residence. It returns less. And when it does come, you find yourself meeting it sooner with silence instead of speeches. Gratitude deepens, but it puts away display. It becomes a private warmth, a steady yes to God as life. The tone of your day shifts from anxious handling to an ease that does not depend on outcomes. The peace of God which passeth all understanding begins to keep the heart and mind, not occasionally, but as a new normal. Do you follow that? The classroom is your ordinary life. Small evidences are the first signs. A lost item found after you drop the search and sit in AS plus IS. A bill met without strain when you refuse drama. Rest in abundance is, and are shown a simple next step. A pain that eased in the silence when you gave not a thought to person or condition, and the hush announced itself. No fireworks, often no testimony, only the quiet rightness of things finding their proper place. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. I have witnessed this in groups as well. On an evening not so different from this, the room grew very still. No one attempted to stir God. We simply consented. The air seemed to thicken with presence. Most felt only a deep calm. A few, ready for it, perceived a brightness at the periphery or heard within, "It is I. Be not afraid." Do not chase such phenomena. The fruitage was not the sensation. It was what followed. Two estranged friends made peace before leaving the hall. A woman who had come with severe pain reported on the way home that it had gone without notice. A businessman found the next morning that a long-stalled account had righted itself without argument. This is what I mean. By your life experience, by the fruitage, be rigorously honest with yourself. If results lag, if problems remain stubborn and your inner weather stays stormy, you may be indulging in emotional jag, a love of the ideas without the practice. Return to the door. Less talk, more beholding. Reduce your vocabulary. Increase your silence. Outwardly, keep to I will help you. Inwardly, give not a thought to the person or the condition. A-S, I-S, wait. Let truth declare itself. Faith without works is dead. Works are not noise. Works are fruit. Measure this not by hours, but by weeks and months. You will notice that harmony becomes continuous rather than episodic. Crises shorten. The interval between fear and recognition closes until the first impulse is to be still. Money matters normalize. Bodies behave. Relationships soften. The practice becomes a posture. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. If this is true, it will prove itself quietly, surely by the fruitage. Hold to that standard and you will not be fooled by excitement or discouraged by delay. Stand in the doorway and let the harvest bear witness. Do you see? Let us do the work now, simply, faithfully. When fear presents itself, your protocol is the same in every scene. Pause. Depersonalize, no person in danger, no law enforcing danger, no substance to give it weight. Acknowledge as God appearing as this very individual, this very scene. Rest in as what already is. Life is, peace is, supply is. Listen, be still until a word is given you in that hour. Act only from peace. If peace has not come, do not act. Do you follow that? Finances first. The bill arrives with a heat in the envelope. The old mind begins to compute lack, to run ahead into doom. Drop it. Give not a thought to the person or the condition. Turn within. Father, you are the life and law here as me. Suppliers. Son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. Stay until the clutch in the stomach loosens and a hush comes. Then listen. Frequently, the next step is small and unglamorous. Call this one, cancel that, open the drawer and find what has been overlooked. No heroics. The presence arranges its own provision as you cease arranging. Take no thought. By your life experience, by the fruitage, you will see the bill meet itself without strain. Health next. A diagnosis appears with a name and a chart. Do not decorate it with holy phrases. Outwardly say as little as possible if you are called, I will help you. Inwardly refuse the bait. This is the arm of flesh. No person, no law, no substance. Behold God as the only life of this body, the law of this function, the substance of this form. I am the Lord that healeth thee. Be still until fear unclenches. Often you will sense breath return to ease, the inner weather clear. Sometimes a simple directive follows. Rest, call, drink water, decline a procedure, accept a procedure, let peace choose. The fruitage will confirm it. Relationships. A conflict sparks voices, sharpen, histories parade, unsee both fault and virtue. They are equally the personal picture. Look back of the eye and acknowledge. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased as both, Christ in the midst. Wait for peace to form your word. It may be an apology you did not plan or a silence you did not think you could keep. A soft answer turneth away wrath. If peace has not come, do not speak doctrine. Be quiet. The hush will do more than your winning point. Headlines and the tremor of the crowd. Meet them as hypnotism. The world belief in two powers on parade. Hold to omnipresence is. There is one lawgiver. Offer a silent benediction instead of an opinion. Peace to the nations. Christ in every official, wisdom where frenzy shouts. You are not ignoring, you are depersonalizing and bearing witness. Often you will be moved to one simple act: give, write, vote, show up, but from quiet, not from contagion. What to avoid? Platitudes to the suffering. Do not say, there are no accidents in divine mind to a bleeding heart. Be kind, be brief, be present. I will help you. Then do the work in silence. Pause. Depersonalize. AS. Listen. Act only from peace. If this is true, the harmony will appear quietly, naturally, without fanfare by your life experience, by the fruitage. Do you see? Let us make this very simple and very livable. Establish a rule of life that is gentle and exact. Through the day, offer short acknowledgments, AS, IS, without fuss or flourish. Father, you are the life, here is me. Harmony is. Place them at waking, before work, at meals, in travel, at money, with headlines. Then keep a period, 15 minutes, if that is what you have, more if given for silent listening. Say little, receive much. Let fruitage be your teacher. Let outcomes, not emotions, show you if you are resting in truth or rehearsing it. By their fruits ye shall know them. Do you see? Train your sight until it becomes your only way of seeing. Each encounter is your practice ground. Silently, habitually, look back of the eye and consent. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased, as this clerk, this child, this adversary, this official. Refuse both the flattery and the fright of the personal picture. Keep to the inner benediction until it ripens into natural perception. Then you will find it is no longer work. It is how you walk. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. Not personality on display, but God recognized as the life of the scene. Do you follow that? Hide your ministry. Keep your words few. In crisis, let your presence say, I will help you, and let God perform God's work. The Master did not advertise. He moved quietly, and he charged them that they should tell no man until the hour. Resist the temptation to explain. Bear witness. I am the door, he said. Enter there. Live so that, without speech, souls feel a widening, an ease, a door opening within themselves. If a word is needed, it will be given you in that hour. Be steadfast. This is not a lazy man's work. It is not strain. It is devotion. A little each day, faithfully, until the hinges no longer creak. When you fail, begin again. When you succeed, go on quietly. Keep your hands on the few things that never change. One presence, one power, AS, IS, silence, fruitage. My yoke is easy and my burden is light, not because life has been made small, but because you have ceased to carry what is God's. Let gratitude be the atmosphere. Thank the presence not for doing what you ask, but for being the doer, the way, and the evidence. Of mine own self I can do nothing. The Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Rest there. Let thanksgiving close each day and open the next. In that gratitude, IS becomes your climate and fear loses its weather. Hear the assurance. The doorway is not out there. It appears as you and is present now. The kingdom of God is within you. Lo, I am with you always. Live as the doorway itself, God as you, resting in IS, quietly helpful, proven by fruitage. Do you see? Thank you.